before you scroll, take a breath with me. Right now, something inside you brought you here. Welcome to Therapist Live. This is more than a channel. It's a space for clarity, healing, and real emotional growth. Here, we talk about mental health, self-awareness, relationships, and the patterns that shape your life. If you're ready to understand yourself on a deeper level, subscribe now and turn on notifications because this journey starts today. Take a deep breath and let's begin. I used to watch kids skateboard outside the university buildings. They were jumping down concrete stairs, grinding on handrails, risking broken bones with every attempt. Then the authorities put up Skatestoppers, ugly metal clamps to stop the kids from riding. They thought they were making the world safer. They were wrong. They were killing the spirit of competence. Today, we're going to discuss why safety is often dangerous and why you must let your children take risks if you want them to survive the world. We have a crisis of overprotection. We look at children, so small, so vulnerable, and our instinct is to shield them. We want to wrap them in cotton wool, keep them away from sharp edges, and ensure they never feel pain or rejection. It comes from a place of love, but it can manifest as a devouring monster. Think about the story of Sleeping Beauty. Her parents, the king and queen, are so terrified that she might get hurt that they banish all spinning wheels from the kingdom. They try to sterilize her environment. And what happens the moment she encounters the first inevitable danger, the first prick of the finger, the first encounter with the dark side of reality? She collapses into unconsciousness. She falls asleep. This is the story of the overprotected child. If you remove all danger, you remove the opportunity for mastery. Children don't want to be safe. They want to be competent. Watch them on the playground. If a playground is too safe, they get bored. They start climbing up the slide the wrong way or jumping off the roof. They are trying to optimize risk. They want to push themselves to the edge of their ability. Where fear and excitement meet, that is where growth happens. So, here's the rule. Do not bother children when they are skateboarding. This isn't just about skateboards. It's about the rough and tumble play of life. It's about the boys spinning donuts in cars on icy parking lots to test their limits. It's about the girls climbing trees. When you intervene to prevent all risk, you are telling the child, you are weak. The world is too dangerous for you. You cannot handle it. And eventually, they believe you. They become anxious, fragile, and resentful. We need strong children. We need dangerous children. Dangerous in the sense that they could cause havoc, but they have learned to control it. A harmless person isn't virtuous. A harmless person is just weak. A virtuous person is someone who has a capacity for mayhem, but keeps it sheathed like a sword. And how do you build that character? Through discipline, through socialization. Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. This sounds harsh. You're supposed to love your children unconditionally, right? Yes, but you don't have to like their behavior. And here's the brutal truth. If your child is acting in a way that makes you, their parent, who love them more than anyone else, dislike them, imagine how the rest of the world will treat them. If you let your child scream in a restaurant, kick you, or hoard toys, you're setting them up for a life of rejection. Other children won't want to play with them. Other adults will frown at them. They will be isolated. And a lonely, rejected child is a tragic figure. It is your primary duty as a parent to make your child socially desirable by the age of 4. That is the deadline. If they haven't learned how to play, share, and pay attention by then, they will fall behind their peers. And they may never catch up. I remember watching a 3-year-old boy in an airport, screaming his head off, not because he was in pain, but because he wanted attention. His parents were ignoring it. Or perhaps they were too tired to fight. But everyone in that terminal was judging them, and by extension, disliking that child. That is a failure of parenting. You must be the proxy for the real world. The real world is not kind. It does not tolerate rudeness or aggression. If you shelter your child from the consequences of their actions because you want to be their friend instead of their parent, you are sacrificing their future for your present comfort. You are feeding them to the dragon of chaos. Discipline is not about anger. It's not about revenge. It is a careful combination of mercy and justice. It requires attention. It requires you be awake. You have to watch your child like a hawk. When they do something good, You reward them immediately. Great job sharing that toy. You reinforce the behavior you want to see. And when they misbehave, you use the minimum necessary force. Maybe it's a look. Maybe it's a verbal warning. Maybe it's a timeout. But the no must mean no. If your no means maybe or I'm going to count to 3 and then do nothing, you are teaching your child that your word is empty. You are teaching them that authority is a joke. And when they hit the real world, where the police, the boss, and the partner don't count to 3, they will be crushed. I remember a friend's child who wouldn't sleep. He would scream and come downstairs, and his parents, exhausted, would let him watch Elmo videos. They were rewarding him for his tyranny. They were training him to be a monster. I had to intervene one night when I was babysitting. I put him to bed. He got up. I put him back. He got up. I put him back and held him down gently but firmly, boring as a plank, until he realized the game was over. He slept, and the next morning, he was happier. He needed that limit. He needed to know that the walls of the world were solid. We are seeing a trend where we try to equalize everything, to remove all hierarchy, all competition, all aggression from childhood. We treat boys like defective girls. We pathologize a desire for rough play, for competition, for things rather than feelings. This is a mistake. Aggression is innate. It's not learned. It's there from the start. The goal isn't to destroy aggression. That leaves you with a weakling. The goal is to integrate it, to civilize it. Men need to be tough. Women want men who are tough, not tyrannical, not cruel, but competent and capable of standing their ground. If we raise a generation of boys who are afraid of their own shadows, who have never faced danger, who have never been told no, we are building a society of resentment. So let them climb the monkey bars. Let them fail. Let them have the argument. Correct them when they are cruel, but encourage them when they are brave. Your job is to render yourself unnecessary. Your job is to prepare them for flood, so that when you are gone, they can build the ark. In the next video, we're going to move from the external world of parenting to the internal world of the soul. We're going to talk about the lies we tell ourselves, the resentment that breeds in the dark, and the absolute necessity of cleaning your room before you try to fix the world. If this resonated with you, leave a comment below about a time you learned from taking a risk. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss part 3. The concern about overprotection isn't just philosophical. It's backed by a growing body of psychological and developmental research. In the book The Coddling of the American Mind, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt and attorney Greg Lookinoff argue that a culture of excessive safetyism, protecting young people not only from physical harm but from discomfort, disagreement, and emotional challenge, can unintentionally increase anxiety and fragility. They point to research showing that avoidance of manageable stressors tends to amplify fear rather than reduce it. When children are not allowed to confront small challenges, their nervous systems never learn that they can survive difficulty. The result isn't resilience, it's hypersensitivity. Developmental psychology supports this idea. Researcher Ellen Sandseter has studied what she calls risky play, activities like climbing high structures, moving at high speed, or engaging in rough-and-tumble interaction. Her findings suggest that children are naturally drawn to moderate risk because it helps them calibrate fear. When they climb a little too high and feel the wobble, they learn their limits. When they wrestle and someone says stop, they learn boundaries. Remove these experiences, and children may become more anxious, not less. Fear that is never tested grows in the dark. Even evolutionary psychology echoes this theme. Play, fighting, competition, and exploration are not defects in childhood behavior. They are ancient training mechanisms. Mammals play to simulate danger in low-stakes environments. A kitten pounces so it can hunt. A child runs, jumps, competes, and argues so they can negotiate social hierarchies later in life. Suppress those instincts entirely, and you don't produce kindness. You risk producing incompetence. The same principle applies socially. Studies on early childhood development consistently show that self-regulation, learning to delay gratification, share, and cooperate by around age 4 or 5, predicts long-term outcomes like academic success and social integration. Clear, consistent boundaries from caregivers help wire those skills into the brain. Discipline, when calm and predictable, builds security. Children relax when the limits are real. They may protest in the moment, but structure reduces anxiety because it makes the world understandable. There is also compelling research on anti-fragility, a concept popularized by Nassim Nicholas Taleb in his book Anti-Fragile. Taleb argues that some systems don't merely withstand stress, they grow stronger from it. Muscles strengthen under load. Immune systems strengthen through exposure. Shield them from all strain, and they weaken. Children, psychologically, appear to follow a similar pattern. Gradual exposure to challenge builds capacity. Total insulation erodes it. None of this suggests recklessness or neglect. It suggests something more demanding. Calibrated exposure. Let them climb, but watch from a distance. Let them argue, but intervene if cruelty emerges. Say no, and mean it. The goal is not to eliminate danger. It is to transform it into training. Competence grows at the edge of difficulty. If we remove every edge, we remove the opportunity to grow strong. In the next video, we're going to move from the external world of parenting to the internal world of the soul. We're going to talk about the lies we tell ourselves, the resentment that breeds in the dark, and the absolute necessity of cleaning your room before you try to fix the world. If this resonated with you, leave a comment below about a time you learned from taking a risk. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss part 3.